On a day that I was able to leave work a little early, I took a slight detour to Westlake Center in Seattle's downtown core to see who might be interested in talking about one of their beliefs. Brie was in the park, sitting in a wheelchair and just hanging out, and she was happy to have a chat and be on a podcast. I was impressed with Brie's self-reliance, moving across the country and making a life for herself despite some significant personal setbacks. My name is Nick, and this is Conversations on the Coast. Hey, good afternoon. Would you be interested in doing a short interview?
I'm on the phone right now.
Oh, you're on the phone. Okay.
Thank you.
Continue with your call then. What's that?
What is it about?
I talk to people about the way they form their beliefs and how they figure out what's true. It's about a philosophical discipline called Epistemology. And so
Where does this go?
It goes to a podcast that I do called Conversations on the Coast, which is on YouTube and drops every Wednesday. We just dropped a new episode today.
So my beliefs on God?
It could be. I mean, it could be just about anything. It doesn't have to be religion.
Medical care?
Sure.
Yeah. Sure, I hung up. It's okay. Oh. I was just trying to find a good barber because my hair got... Look, I paid $30 for this.
Okay.
And it's really crappy.
I'm sorry. The color looks nice.
I did it myself.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you paid $30 for the color and then you did the cut yourself?
No, I did the color myself.
Oh, okay. I don't hate the color.
It's okay.
Yeah, but maybe it's not what you were looking for.
No.
Cool. All right, anyway, my name is Nick.
I'm Brie.
Brie.
Nice to meet you.
It's good to meet you. Yeah. So, medical care. I noticed that you're
I'm
sitting
disabled, yes.
Yeah, you're sitting in a wheelchair today. So
Yeah.
can I ask what's...
So I have a herniated disc,
Okay.
and it took me to go to Bellevue to get real medical care.
Okay.
The UW system has really treated me like absolute crap, and I honestly I don't like to point out fingers to which doctor did what.
Yeah.
Because I'm only 19 years old, and
Okay.
I have been in Seattle for 5 to 6 months now,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned that having medical conditions and chronic illnesses, and you go to emergency room, you don't get treated the way you expect to be treated.
Okay.
And I don't think it's right how people get really criticized for going to an emergency room for chronic conditions, because your chronic condition can get really bad.
Yeah.
And you don't know if it's going to kill you or it's not going to kill you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've been disabled since I was 13 years old. I moved here by myself.
Okay.
My family is 2,000 miles away.
Wow.
And
That is, I just got to say, that is super courageous that you did that.
as a person who's homeless
Yeah.
and just worked her butt off to get ABD,
Mm-hmm.
I think I said that right. I don't know if I said that right. It's for people assisting with disability people.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just in my opinion, I feel like people should be treated the same way.
Yeah.
But that's my beliefs that I have.
Yeah. Why do you think it is that you don't get treated the same as anybody else?
Because
Actually, let's take a step back and
Mhm.
kind of define what you're talking about. So, how is it that you're treated that's different from the way others are treated?
I get looked at as a drug addict
Okay.
because I'm in pain a lot.
Okay.
And I go to the emergency room for pain treatment, and they tell me to go to my primary care doctor, and that's the thing. I do go to my primary care doctor, and they don't help me. So sometimes I'm in so much pain I can't walk, and it's what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. So they're treating you as if you're coming there to get the drugs
Narcotics.
for recreational
Yeah.
purposes rather than
Mm.
for pain relief.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they Why do you think that they treat you like that? Why do you think they take that attitude?
I'm not gonna say oh, I'm a recovering addict,
Mhm.
so I get looked at very differently
Okay.
than a regular human
Yeah.
that goes to the hospital for pain. and it's really crazy in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So why do you think so you think that because you've had
Past history,
addiction issues in the past, that's also happening
contributing?
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do think that that's a most problem,
Okay.
and it's just really sad, in my opinion.
Okay. Why do you think that they are making that judgment about you as an addict?
Because we're in Seattle.
Okay.
You see them everywhere.
Sure, but is prevalence of addiction a good reason to believe that you're being denied because they're judging you? Right, that was a complex sentence.
100%.
Okay.
Like, I got put on painkillers at the age of 13 for a wisdom teeth extraction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you're you know, I was born addicted to drugs, and it runs in my family, the drug addiction, and so does alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
But I can control the alcoholism. I don't need to drink to be happy. Yeah. I'm actually learning that going out and about also does distract me from my pain, and that's what I've been doing recently, is instead of like drowning myself in like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain, like, I can distract myself from that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have really bad ADHD.
No, I understand. So when you talk to, say, an emergency room physician, are they telling you that they're denying you?
It's not that. It's just the way their attitude is.
Okay.
It's not like, oh, can I help you? Like, there's some doctors that are. I'm not going to say that, oh, this healthcare system sucks. Yeah. It does, but it doesn't at the same time. Like, right. I went to Bellevue Overlake Hospital, and I got treated amazing. Mm-hmm. And they really opened my eyes on what's wrong with me. And I've had over so many hospital trips since I've been to Seattle. Mm-hmm. But it was like that when I was in a different state, too. Yeah. I came from Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay. So it's very different here. I'm not used to the city. I imagine so, yeah. I'm originally from upstate New York. Okay. So it's like...
Three very different places.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
So I really want to focus on this because... So again, I'm talking about like belief formation, and it sounds like you're pretty confident that the reason you get treated the way you do is that in the emergency room they see you as an addict.
Yeah.
If you were going to rate that on a scale of like from 0 to 100,
what do you mean by that?
What percentage? Where would you be in terms of I'm this % confident that's how they see me? About 50%. Okay.
Because it depends on what doctor is treating me that day.
Okay.
But I have epilepsy.
Okay.
And they banned me from getting Ativan in an emergency room system because of the many times I've gotten narcotics in an emergency room.
Okay.
And it's a benzos, so it's also considered in the narcotic system because it makes you feel loopy and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I don't see the real reason why why people are making thousands of dollars from drug addicts, and it's like,
yeah,
I quit when I was 15 years old from doing things that I shouldn't do. Mm-hmm. I've been clean for a while now, and it feels amazing.
That's wonderful. Congratulations. You should take a lot of pride in that. I hope you do.
Yeah, and the other thing is the mental health on the other side is that I get treated like, oh, my pain gets so bad, I get so bad thoughts in my head, and I tell them that, and they're like, well, maybe you need to see a psychiatrist about that. Well, I did, and I have family members that don't believe my chronic illnesses because of the way they look at it. Mm-hmm. But that's basically the way I feel.
Right. So going back to the what I like about you saying that you're like at 50% confidence about the attitude towards you by doctors is it shows that you're kind of evaluating it, right? Sometimes I talk to people and they're like, oh, I'm 100% on this belief and I don't believe you can, can you really be 100% sure about?
No, you can't. You
about
never
anything?
can be.
Right. Yeah.
You don't judge a book by somebody's attitude at all.
So what would let's like play some hypothetical games. So what would reduce your confidence that that's the way they look at you?
A doctor like confronting me, like a doctor asking me, it would really stir the pot.
Yeah.
For me. But I feel like once that I get everything settled, because like I said, I've only been here for 6 months, and people, I'm trying my hardest right now. Like, I just like. I'm staying at a shelter right now, and it's a great shelter. I don't stay here anymore. I used to stay in Seattle. I stay in Kirkland. I'm visiting right now because I needed to get away from there.
Yeah.
But like I said, my confidence would change if somebody were to be like, "Oh, you want this? You want this? You want this? You want this? Here, here, here." Yeah. It would really make me upset. Like here's a little thing that happened to me. I hit my head. I fell backwards and did some really bad damage to my body.
Ouch.
And I went into the emergency room, and what they do is they do a full trauma panel when you do that, when something bad like that happens, and they basically. I had a nurse, and it's not just the doctors; it's the nurses. I had a nurse be like, "What do you want? You want this? I know you want this." And I'm like,
okay.
No. Like, yeah, I'm hurt, but do I want to really trigger my addiction? No.
Yeah.
It's the way it is. Yeah.
Cool. So on the converse, like if you were going to increase your confidence, what would increase your confidence that you're being seen as an addict in the emergency room?
Like I said, people stirring the pot.
Yeah.
By asking me, like, why?
Right.
Why? Like, that's a big question mark everyone asks me. And it's not just, like, doctors or people. It's people in general. And I get taken advantage of because I have a disability. Yeah.
So, what could you do to is there anything that you do to kind of help with that conversation? So like when you're in the emergency room to have that.
I explain to them my past, and some of them are nice about it, and sometimes they can be a real asshole about it. But
yeah. So it sounds like though when they're talking to you about the meds, that they're not saying things out loud. You're kind of having to read between the lines.
It's like, I know it's a bad thing, but as a person who has pain, it's like constantly can't walk certain lengths of. There's times when my legs will go paralyzed, and then it gets exhausting. Yeah. What I feel like I can do to like fix that problem is like don't tell them like I'm in pain. Like tell them I'm in pain, but don't be like, "Oh, can I have something for pain?" Right. Be like, "What is there you guys can do for this problem?" And I'm really looking at changing the way I and I've been told I've misused emergency rooms. I've had a doctor tell me, I was sitting in a University of Washington, not going to name which hospital, but I was sitting in a hallway bed, and they basically sat me there for 5 hours, and there was a person in front of me that was getting treated, and nobody would pick my case up. Like, no doctors would select me as a patient because my chart shows everything.
Gotcha.
It shows how many times I've had narcotics. It shows
Okay.
how many times that I've been to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
It shows everything.
Okay.
You can't get away from that.
But when we talked before, you said that they're not telling you explicitly that any of these actions are because of the addiction
Yeah,
history.
but that's the reason.
So why do you believe that?
Oh, because the way I get treated.
Okay. Is there a way you could become more certain, like you could remove that ambiguity?
If doctors start being nice to me. Not
Well,
because I want drugs. I don't
yeah.
want drugs. Like, I'm not asking for drugs.
But if you're assuming that that's how they judge you, right?
It could be that I'm sensitive a little bit.
Sure, of course. And anybody in your situation, I think, would be. But I'm just trying to get to the, like, and I realize, and my heart really goes out to you. It's like your situation is painful and it's hard to see, and I know it's much harder to be in that. And mostly what I'm trying to do is kind of have more of an intellectual conversation about, like the way you're thinking about it. And I kind of want to engage with the pain, but I also want to, have that conversation too. So I apologize if I'm kind of keep going back to this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But no, don't be.
I'm autistic, okay?
You, if anybody, shouldn't be sorry, right? I mean, I think you are doing such a great job in the situation you're in. But I'm just thinking about, like, is guessing about someone's intentions or making assumptions about someone's intentions a good way to figure out what's true? Or is there a better way that you could do?
Ask.
Maybe if you ask. Like if you ask, do you feel like if you ask, they'd give you an honest answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Because I've asked before.
Okay.
But it honestly has gotten me into bad situations where I have gotten kind of aggressive because, people, it's not like I expect them to take away my pain.
Right.
Huh. I'm going to be in pain for the rest of my life. No matter what I do, unless they want to try to fix it.
Yeah. And
it's hard to feel like that because there's doctors, they tell me to see this doctor and see this doctor. Well, when I call, they're like, there's a 6-month wait list, there's a 9-month wait list, and it's the way it is. And I'm like, I've tried to get in to those appointments. It's crazy the way it is, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it sounds like asking, might be a way to get a better confidence, right? That's really based on more than just kind of what you're assuming in your mind.
Well, there's doctors that can also be sensitive.
Yeah.
Too, because they're burnt out, and I'm not gonna lie. The hospital treats their doctors like absolute crap. Mm-hmm. They don't get paid enough for what they do.
Yeah.
And they're like in a zigzag kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well.
Cool. Well, it sounds like you've got some options, and
I think I'm gonna take your advice, and I'm gonna next time that anything happens to me, I'm gonna use the question. I'm gonna question them instead of assuming. Yeah,
that might help. Do you think that if you ask? And I know different doctors and different nurses are different, right?
Every doctor.
Do you think they'll tell you the truth?
Could be 50-50.
Okay.
Like I said, I have 50-50 mindset.
Yeah. Cool. But maybe if you try that experiment, you might learn something.
I don't want to go back there, but the next time if I have to go back there, I will ask.
Yeah.
But it was very nice meeting you.
Cool. It was great meeting you too. Thank you, Brie. You are terrific. Could I give you a hug?
Of course.
Cool.
Do you have
Thank you. You seem like a really, really kind person with some real issues. Yeah, let me get you. I have a QR code here that I can give you, and I live part-time in Seattle and part-time out on the Washington coast. So actually, the podcast is called Conversations on the Coast because a lot of the time I'm doing interviews out there. I live in a town called Westport in Grays Harbor County.
And this will be up later?
It will. I've got a lot of interviews recorded, and I'm trying to release them. I release once a week, and I try to release them in order. So it might, at this point, be next year before this would drop. But if you
subscribe to you,
cool, thank you. It's actually the channel is called Sound Epistemology. It's run by my friend David. And you'll see videos in there where I'm interviewing people on the light rail here. And we did one where we interviewed people in a bar after doing a bunch of tequila shots. We're trying a bunch of experiments to make interesting videos. But this is just an audio podcast that I do too.
I think you should definitely keep going with it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's something that there's a bunch of people who do this.
You're
it's
the
called.
First person I've met.
Well, might be the only person like doing this like in Metro Seattle. We've got someone up in Mukilteo who's doing this. This fella who runs the YouTube channel. He's from Olympia, but he's currently touring the country, kind of helping other people do this.
I'm on a podcast.
Yeah, that's right. If you reach out via the podcast, maybe if you comment on one of the videos and give some contact information, I can get a hold of you when the episode drops, and then maybe we could do a follow up afterwards.
Almost definitely.
Cool.
It was really nice meeting you.
Awesome. It was great to meet you, Brie. I'm Nick. Sorry.
You got a great handshake. Not a lot of people have a great handshake.
Thank you.
Well, I actually helped a few homeless people today. That's another thing.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm homeless, and I helped as much as I can because I know how it feels. I just gave a few dollars to a homeless person. I said, you better use that wisely. I don't want to see you on the streets dead.
Indeed.
Cool. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. You've been listening to Conversations on the Coast, a series from Washington State featuring civil conversations using street epistemology to explore what people believe and why. Find out more at streetepistemology.com.